even though the lake outside was as calm as if no turmoil could ever disturb its placid surface. Yet within those ancient doors, secrets simmered, threatening to tear apart the long-maintained veneer of harmony that had always cloaked the family. Vanessa entered this world not as an outsider but as a catalyst, carrying with her fragments of the past that had never been properly pieced together, ready to drop them at any moment and trigger unpredictable upheavals. What Vanessa brought was crucial information connected to Martin's upcoming press conference. But hidden within it was evidence of an old accident, a secret that all involved had deliberately kept silent. Nicole had long lived with a quiet sense of suspicion, as her mother Anita's actions and words had never aligned with what Nicole herself remembered from childhood. A fog enveloped the stories Anita told, seemingly attempting to embellish or conceal the most vital details. With Vanessa's arrival, everything became even more tangled, as nobody could say for sure whether she genuinely wanted to help Nicole or was simply using her as a new pawn in her own shadowy game. The information Vanessa revealed pulled Nicole deeper into a dark vortex, forcing her to confront the truth about her family, about her parents, those she once considered friends, and ultimately, herself. What did Vanessa really know? And was her decision to reveal it to Nicole an act of compassion, or part of a calculated scheme to overturn the balance of power between the generations of the Dupree clan? That question haunted Nicole, depriving her of sleep. In her mind, countless scenarios played out, each one ending more grimly than the last, and all revolved around Martin, the figure at the center of every plan, scandal, and scheme. Nicole realized she could not fully trust anyone in the house, especially with Vanessa's gentle, elusive smile, always evading direct questions by invoking the right to know the truth, as if she alone bore the family's legacy on her shoulders. Nicole did not confront Anita directly at first. Instead, she began her own quiet investigation, following the faint trails Vanessa dropped. She wondered whether to speak with Jacob, a relative who had once been her father's close friend, or to approach Ted, the family's document keeper, or even risk confiding in the Dupree family's adversaries, for only an outsider might tell the truth that insiders dared not face. The further Nicole probed, the more she uncovered a strange connection between the death of Kenny, a man her family had always spoken of with caution, and her parents. Events that once seemed unrelated now connected into a dangerous undercurrent. Nicole discovered her parents had not only known Kenny but might have been directly involved in his death, a secret never before revealed. And now the only thing that sent chills down her spine every time she saw her parents calmly eating breakfast beneath the yellow glow of the dining room lights. The tension between Nicole and Anita escalated from tense conversations to cold, silent battles, where every gesture and glance was full of suspicion and wariness. Nicole no longer recognized the mother who used to embrace her every night, replaced now by a cold, sharp woman, always in control, determined never to show any weakness. Yet the more Nicole clashed with Anita, the more she realized she was entering completely unfamiliar territory, where every step was a trap set long ago. One evening, after sneaking into the archives to review Kenny's files, Nicole came upon an old photograph showing her parents and Kenny together, their intimacy far exceeding Anita's earlier explanations. That photo became heavy evidence, marking a point of no return in the mother-daughter relationship. In the days that followed, Nicole became increasingly unstable, sleepless, strung tight like a wire ready to snap at the slightest touch. She began acting impulsively, storming into her mother's room in the middle of the night to confront her, hurriedly packing to leave home without warning. The Dupree family entered a state of alarm as secrets once thought deeply buried began surfacing bit by bit. Anita tried to control the situation with her trademark coldness, but even she sensed the bond between mother and daughter fracturing beyond repair. And in the midst of all this chaos, a painful question arose. If Smitty, the husband always caught between right and wrong, were forced to choose between revealing the family's past and protecting his wife and daughter from devastating shock, what would he sacrifice? This was the ultimate test for any man in the Dupree family, especially as Smitty himself could not be sure he knew everything about the woman he had loved all his life. He felt mounting pressure as Nicole drifted further from her mother, and he himself was drawn into the vortex of choosing between loyalty to Anita and his desire to defend what was right for Nicole. Meanwhile, Vanessa maintained her mysterious, evasive manner. She neither provided new information nor confirmed or denied her true motives. Her silence only increased Nicole's confusion and sense of betrayal. The more clues Nicole found, the more everything pointed to one murky point. Who was truly responsible for Kenny's death, and why was the Dupree family so desperate to hide the truth? Once again, Vanessa appeared, her eyes betraying knowledge of yet another secret, making Nicole realize that she, more than anyone else, was being drawn into a power game whose end goal was the destruction of any remaining trust in the family. Nicole felt she could not leave the mansion, though her heart longed to escape her mother's control. She was torn between the desire to expose the truth and the fear of shattering what little remained of the family she once loved, even as those feelings were now corroded by suspicion and disappointment. The confrontation between Nicole and Anita erupted not with shouts or tears, but with icy estrangement, as Nicole chose to sever all contact, leaving the mansion in the darkness of night and creating a void between people who once called each other mother and daughter. Elsewhere, Martin prepared for the most important press conference of his life, believing he would set the record straight after years of distortion. But Martin had no idea that the information Vanessa had given Nicole and Nicole's impulsive actions would become the spark that could ignite a tidal wave threatening to engulf the entire Dupree clan. The battle between past and present was no longer just Nicole's story. It became a trial for everyone bearing the Dupree name, directly or indirectly. As secrets were revealed, each family member would have to confront their own darkness and choose between painful truth and the comfort of living a lie. No one could foresee what would happen after Nicole decided to leave, nor whether Anita could maintain her cold composure or would be the first to break under the weight of secrets kept too long. In that big house, dinner was no longer peaceful beneath warm light but had become sleepless nights, quiet footsteps, half-shut doors full of secrets, and above all, loneliness eating away at every heart, every relationship, every memory. Nicole knew there was no way back. But despite her fear and pain, she pressed on, for only when the truth was brought to light could the ghosts truly vanish from beyond the gates. After leaving her haunted home, Nicole embarked on a new journey, a deeply personal and solitary investigation, each step a confrontation with the past, and with those she once loved most. The pain of discovering the secrets her parents tried to hide was just the beginning. The ongoing sense of disorientation became her driving force, pushing Nicole deeper into the shadows of her lineage, determined to reach the bottom of the truth, no matter if it destroyed everything she once believed in. Nicole did not return home but rented a small room in the old neighborhood where she had grown up before the family moved into the grand mansion. The air there was stifling with childhood memories, yet it provided her a modicum of safety. At night, Nicole spent hours poring over old letters, diaries, and notes she had collected from the archives, trying to piece together the still scattered clues. Each page, each blurry photo might contain the key to unlocking the past. She noticed every event in Kenny's file coincided with major family upheavals. Her father's sudden absences, mysterious midnight phone calls, unexplained expenditures by her mother. Every detail now took on a new shade, tinged with suspicion she had never before considered. Despite her anxieties, Nicole actively sought out Jacob, the only one outside the family who had once been connected to Kenny and who held secrets no one else knew. Tracing her mother's old call history, Nicole discovered lengthy conversations between Anita and Jacob in the days leading up to Kenny's demise. Jacob's nervousness upon meeting Nicole only confirmed he was hiding something. Yet, instead of directly answering her questions, Jacob deflected, offering vague remarks about loyalty and some things better left buried. Nicole realized that only what had been hidden so thoroughly was truly frightening, and she was now more determined than ever not to give up. Nicole didn't stop at Jacob. She followed the trail to Ted, the family's silent archivist, who seemed like a marginal figure, but in fact held access to a trove of sensitive documents. Nicole broke into Ted's office one rainy night, rummaging through file cabinets until she found a dossier labeled CK, Kenny's initials. Inside were cold notes on secret meetings, unexplained money transfers, third-party reports on people her parents had once approached. Nicole was shocked to discover not only her parents' ties to Kenny but also that Vanessa had appeared in these files long ago, listed as a go-between, passing information among feuding factions within the clan. Nicole began to see Vanessa in a new light. She was not simply the mysterious woman who appeared out of nowhere to share information. Vanessa was a true player in the power struggle of the Dupree family. Old notes Nicole uncovered described Vanessa not only as knowledgeable about the old accident but even present at the scene that fateful night, as the only non-family witness. This explained why Vanessa knew more than she showed, and why she chose this moment to reveal fragments to Nicole, manipulating the Dupree family into further chaos. Realizing she was entangled in a larger conspiracy, Nicole didn't retreat. Instead, she delved even deeper. She quietly tailed Vanessa, recording every meeting and interaction she had with others in the city. The more she watched, the more Nicole saw Vanessa had connections to many of the Dupree family's adversaries, including those her father had mentioned with contempt. Vanessa attended secret meetings, regularly passed thick envelopes to others, always calm and cold. Every action suggested Vanessa was plotting something much larger, far beyond any intent to simply help Nicole find the truth. As Nicole poured herself into her investigation, her mind remained obsessed with Vanessa's true motives. Did Vanessa want to destroy the Dupree family from within, or was she seeking personal revenge, using Nicole as a sharp blade to pierce Anita's and the clan leader's facade? Or was it all just a performance ultimately meant to win back assets, status, or even lost honor from years ago? Nicole's doubts grew into an obsession, leaving her constantly on guard, unable to trust anyone, including herself. Back at the Dupree mansion, Anita and Martin began to feel the tightening noose as more and more information leaked. Anita became colder, nearly ruthless in her handling of matters, demanding Smitty's unconditional loyalty. But as Smitty saw Nicole drift further from the family, falling into pain, he began to question his own loyalty. He realized with anguish that if he continued to stay silent, he would lose the daughter he loved most. But if he betrayed Anita, the foundation of trust built over years would crumble. Nicole found another old letter, in which Kenny described feeling threatened by a dark-haired woman who always appeared at critical moments. The shaky handwriting and smudged ink betrayed extreme fear. Nicole knew only one person in the family matched that description, Vanessa. She had been Anita's close friend in their youth, later drifting away after a falling out, only to return suddenly with a vast trove of knowledge about the previous generation's wrongdoings. In the days that followed, Nicole quietly approached peripheral figures of the clan, gathering enough information to reconstruct the night of Kenny's death. From longtime employees to bribed witnesses, each contributed details to the story Vanessa had deliberately only half told. Nicole finally determined. Vanessa was the one who knew the whole truth, had once been in love with Kenny, had even offered to help him escape the Dupree family, but when the plan failed, she returned to play the neutral messenger, using her knowledge to manipulate both sides. Vanessa's motives turned out to be more complex than anyone imagined. Part revenge for betrayal, part an unending, deep-seated pain. As the last pieces fell into place, Nicole faced a brutal choice. Either expose everything, destroying whatever was left of her family, or remain silent, living with guilt and letting the past continue to consume them all. She knew that either way, the consequences would be unforeseeable. But this time, Nicole had truly grown up. No longer a girl running from the dark, but one ready to face it and accept whatever outcome followed. In that moment, Vanessa appeared one last time, her gaze finally unguarded, and Nicole realized the truth. Sometimes, the one who reveals secrets is also the one who most longs for redemption, whatever the cost. Now, the story was no longer just about the secret of an accident, but the enduring tragedy of an entire family, where each character no matter how hard they tried to hide their motives, ultimately could not escape the consequences of their choices and past silences. And Nicole, at last,